Right.
Yeah. But
Okay.
hi,
So.
welcome to Nocturnal Nuance. It's people that don't sleep talking about nonsense. Well, welcome. In fact, I think it's about 1:30 a.m. for me. What, 10:30 for you guys?
10:30.
Yeah. Ethan has been working all day. I have been driving all day. I don't know what Janelle's been doing all day. What have you been
I
up
just
to?
sleep late and wake up early and start gaming. Man.
So
That's just the
That's
vibe.
true though.
Janelle has just
That's
been
just the vibe.
grinding. He's been on that grind.
Yeah, could not stop playing.
What were you playing? Oh, the Cyberpunk? Oh my gosh, dude. How many hours do you have on that game?
All right, you know what? Let me check because I haven't actually checked.
Dude,
yet.
you beat that game in 3 days. That's...
Yeah,
He actually beat it.
I beat it.
He beat it, yes. Like, the game came out, and 3 days later, Janelle has completed it.
21.7 hours,
21,
dude.
Wow.
dude.
Okay, so I was told that campaign's supposed to be like 50 hours at least.
Yeah,
That was the estimation.
Yeah, but if you're like organically just going through it and only focusing on like main storyline and then like a few of the side missions, because honestly, it would take you about 50 hours if you're trying to do some side missions, get like cars and like all of that jazz,
Right.
and like play the game as you're supposed to play it. But no, I just went like, all right, just gonna get the main story mission, romance this chick, and then go back to the main story mission and call it a day.
Janelle had...
I mean, shit. That's
Janelle had
how it
his
works.
priorities straight. He's like,
I know what's up.
I am here for one thing.
Cause I mean, dude, your character's gonna die in like who knows how long. So I was like, okay, I don't want to just like sit
waste
here,
time.
on side missions. Yeah, I'm like, there's bigger things at hand. Of course, I got a romance because that's pretty important too.
Oh, yeah,
Obviously,
absolutely.
Yeah, obviously, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, yeah, for
god.
sure.
No, okay, I'm not gonna get into that because I could literally talk about that one girl for hours. Misty.
Oh,
Oh
Misty.
my
Yeah.
god. Okay, Cyberpunk has some women in it. There you go. End of story.
Women.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
well,
story-
I saw a few I guess memes I guess you could say like of people like, you know, accidentally like falling in love with like
men.
guys
Man.
like in there like, and it's like,
But that's the thing
oh,
is, like, I
shit,
just don't know
bro.
how you do that. Like, you
How do
have to pick
accidentally-
the romance
How do you
options. Like,
accidentally romance a dude?
because you're flirting with them actively.
Right.
So like, how do you accidentally flirt with somebody?
I don't think it could be accidental. Like, you know what you're doing,
I
bro. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, no, that's just a big yikes. There's really nothing else to say there.
Come on.
The only
That's
thing
just
I
a-
could like
that's just a
rationalize that is because like there's male stripper that'll just walk by, and like sometimes you're right next to the male stripper as you're talking to like a character for a side mission, and it'll give you the dialogue option for both.
Dude, okay.
It'll just take over with the male stripper one,
That's crazy.
and then the first option is always yeah sure. So if you happen to be unlucky and spam like or just click F in general,
Right.
right as that dialogue comes up,
That
you can't skip that.
that game
Cuts-
is
okay, well,
that game
that
is
makes
so
sense
finicky
then.
with,
Yeah.
Like when it comes to just shit on screen, like I was watching Janelle play, and it's kind of a buggy mess right now. Like I think
It's painful.
I'll be pretty happy when, like they iron out all of that shit.
Did a day one patch come out?
A day one patch came out. It was 40 gigabytes. And yeah, and you would think it would
Nice.
fix something that like immersive breaking. Nah.
No, like
Yeah,
everything
that's-
that's intrusive is still there. I didn't even notice a change, man. I didn't even notice a change.
They released
Yeah.
2 patches after that within the last 2 days. So like
Damn.
3 patches in the 3 days of it being released, and none of it fixed any of that issues I was having. And it's a common issue. It's not like it's like just
No,
me
like
on
there's
my
tons
end.
of
No,
posts
it's
about
like
it. There's tons of posts
yeah.
about it. Anthony's been everybody I know has that game has been experiencing it. I should probably ask one of my homies because I haven't asked him, but like I've seen it everywhere. But on that note, what are some video games that you guys like are important to you? I'm not talking like video games that you just like or video games that are like objectively good, but like
I was actually thinking about this while I was taking a shower, like, or just a topic in general, but I'll save that. The like Super Smash Bros. Brawl, like, I was 7 years old. My dad bought it. He pre-ordered it, bought it on release. He never played it. Like he was getting more into his job. I loved Brawl. Everything about Brawl. Like, so, like, you know how, you know, certain video games have really good music that will always stick with you forever, and like you can go back
Brawl
to them,
is just
you can go back to them.
You can
That
hear it.
that game has music from freaking like my favorite, like Donkey Kong. Some of the Donkey Kong
dude,
music
Donkey Kong has some
is
fire music.
absolutely insane. And when they introduced Sonic, they put Sonic music in there too, which is so good. Sonic music is tippity top of
dude,
like
okay, it's funny
game.
you say that because my ringtone is actually like Spring Yard Zone. So every time somebody calls me, I hear that, and I never get tired of it. I never get tired of it. Sonic music is actually so good.
Yeah, the way Brawl was introduced and like the whole Subspace Emissary,
Oh yeah.
just in my opinion, like reflects like me growing up and like that whole. Cause like I was reading up lore on like so the Subspace Emissary and like how like you remember like the trophies, like how like they're all basically trophies and like how they get turned into trophies.
Yeah.
And like how Master Hand, like it's about how like
It's like a kid.
don't quote me on it. It's about like a kid like growing up and like he doesn't want to grow up and like
Yeah,
that's
he
why
didn't wanna-
that's why
yeah.
Crazy Hand comes in
Yeah.
and like is trying to like break through and like, oh, I don't want to grow up, but like Master Hand like take control. And then like also like growing up, like when I saw like the final boss Taboo, you remember like that blue like you know, dude, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Dude, I was scared. Like I was really scared. I don't know why, but like no, like I really think that like that whole game in general like just reflects that like 2009 2011 like type of like era. Like it reflected it perfectly. All the music, all the characters, like introducing all this new stuff, like how powerful the like in my opinion the Wii is better than the PS3 and the Xbox because of just Nintendo's way of putting games like that on that little thing on the Wii when the Xbox is huge, the PS
They like they
yeah,
pushed
oh,
like
yeah.
the Wii to like another console that did that is the PlayStation 2. Like people near the end of the PlayStation 2
Right.
lifespan, they were like pushing that thing to the limits. Like they had like full control over what they were doing, and that's true. I think with the Wii they were doing that. Like they were really getting the most out of that little thing, and it was very creative what they did. I mean, you got games like No More Heroes. I personally played the ever living like crap out of Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. And
I remember that.
I have that game on PlayStation 2 as well, and it's just not the same. Like actually, like I don't know, just swinging it and stuff like in game is so cool. And like
yeah,
Star
all the
Wars,
controls on the Wii, like dude, that's so cool.
Those
Like,
were,
the motion controls.
Those were peak motion controls. Motion controls have never been done as well as the Wii. And I feel like when the Wii came out, everybody wanted to copy that. Like
No, everyone wanted to try it. Like PlayStation had theirs
yeah,
with
that
the
little
con-
thing,
remotes.
that little ball thing.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
That was a failure. Then they
Complete
had the
flopped,
Kinect.
and then you had the Kinect, and now it's a complete flop. Did they finally get rid of that? Did they finally get rid of the Kinect? Like, does the Xbox One S come with the Kinect?
Yeah, the Xbox One
I don't
has
think
one.
it does. I think it has its like built-in own thing. Because like you can actually I don't know because remember the Xbox One had like Xbox One off like so I think it did have its own Connect.
It
but I
did.
think
The
but I
Xbox
think the
One.
new,
That's what I'm asking about because I know the Xbox One.
I don't I don't think the newer ones has. I
No,
know,
the
I don't-
Series
I don't
X doesn't
think-
have it.
They,
Not
fi-
that I
they finally
know
were
of.
like, okay, guys, gimmick's done. Gimmick's over.
it's a waste of money. No,
It's a
yeah.
decade-old gimmick.
Dude,
Yeah, no, yeah.
Why,
man.
We did it
So
perfectly.
kind
You
of
can't,
push
you
it.
can't, you can't beat that. Like,
Nah.
like playing Twilight Princess, like with the motion controls. And then when Skyward Sword came out and they made the motion controls literally perfect, like you moved your
Yeah.
thing and like the sword did exactly what you
Yeah.
did, and like if you move it, it moves the sword too, and like
Yeah.
you could do perfect slices. Oh my god, that was amazing.
Honestly,
I love
Because
that.
we had pretty
Twilight
good-
Princess was like the start of it. And
Oh yeah,
then-
yeah.
Skyward Sword was
just
just
loved
like them perfecting their craft.
Yeah, they perfected the Wii. That was like the end of the Wii era,
Yeah.
like I believe.
The Wii,
Yeah,
the Wii
Skyward
was actually
Sword.
really responsive. Like the Wii controllers were pretty responsive. Like I think that was part of it too. It's just like how responsive and tight the Wii
yeah.
controllers were. I mean, I don't know. I never had like a Wii controller break on me, and I never had it like have like lag or like drift. Like,
Dude, no,
like
those things are like
Joy-Cons do.
indestructible. The amount of times I've like dropped or like
Oh,
accidentally
yeah.
thrown those things I didn't have the strap on.
Like those nunchuck things, like even if like the nunchuck messes up, those
Yeah.
nunchucks are so cheap. Like you can easily get an
too.
off-brand
Dude,
one,
how
That's what I
or like
miss.
even the main brand stuff.
Dude,
like
how much is a
so cheap.
Joy-Con? How much is a Joy-Con?
Oh,
a Joy-Con, dude, those things are like $60 to $70.
Yeah. Like-
Those Joy-Con, yeah.
A new game
Yeah.
for something that's like, look, I literally have one on me. I think it's smaller than my hand. Hold on, if I can get this thing off. this thing is smaller than the palm of my hand, and you're telling me this is worth $60. This is worth a full game. This is worth a full fucking game. Yeah, if you say so.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, this is some BS, dude. Ain't no way. No.
Mine's on my right there. Mine's right there.
Ain't no way.
We all have our Switches in like arm's reach.
Yeah,
So
I mean, the Switch is alright.
Dude, literally all I have for the Switch is Smash.
I have Smash and Breath of the Wild, and that's it.
Oh,
I don't have any other
I think
game.
Ethan
Breath
gets
of
a
the
better
Wild
use out of
was-
it than any of us.
Yeah, because I bought Mario Kart and I've been playing that a little bit. But it's just a revamp of Mario Kart, a Mario Kart on the Wii U, which is really good as well. Also, internet or what is it online on the Wii U was way better than Switch.
It was.
I was like, what? Like, and you didn't have to pay for it. So why are we paying $20?
We paid $20 a year for garbage. Like we paid $20 a year to like have 1 second like lag or like 1 to 2
on
second
Smash.
lag.
It's like, really? Can we not get some dedicated servers? Like, we're paying you guys now. Can we get
paying you
like it was
guys.
way better on the Wii U? Like, how?
It's crazy.
Like,
It makes absolutely no
it doesn't make any sense.
Dude,
No,
like I
yeah.
literally have an Ethernet and it still plays like garbage. It still plays like I had to buy an Ethernet adapter and everything for my Switch, and it still plays like shit.
It's
just
still
like,
it's still bad.
It's just not worth.
I question if it's like because there's like the same server capacity, but there's more people who own a Switch now, so like more people are on the internet, and they're just like, we can't handle this.
That might be true.
Remix.
Yeah.
Like that might be part of it because it could be just the exact same servers. And my thing is like, are they? I think they're just doing peer to peer, and they just have really shitty netcode.
Yeah.
That's another thing as well.
That
Game
is
flawless
part
online.
That's
Not so.
Yeah,
That's
like
the
their base games
Oh yeah.
so good.
are good.
I
Nintendo
like,
comes
but-
out with great games. Yeah.
Everything.
I guess Nintendo
thing-
doesn't really care. I mean, Nintendo has Mario, but other than that, they don't really. They publish it. That's about it, though.
they're more of like
You
a
know.
publisher than anything else now.
Yeah.
I mean they like. Dude, I don't even want to get into that Nintendo mess. I'm really disappointed in Nintendo lately. They've been doing some really messed up stuff to like the community. They really just show how much they don't care about their community and just how
So many videos on YouTube got copyright striked by Nintendo. Like, what is it? I used to listen to some music from Donkey Kong Country Returns from like the N64, and it was like some remastered music, so it sounded really good.
Yep.
And it got copyright, like a whole playlist, like 50 songs.
Yeah.
got
And it's
copyright.
not
I was
not
like,
just that they got copyright. It's that they got like taken down. Because
Yeah.
I get copyright,
yeah.
dude. Like I upload videos with music in them because I don't care, and they don't get taken down. They get striked. So like any
Just striked,
revenue
yeah.
from them gets like put to like whoever owns the
Them.
music. But like they don't take the videos down. Like Nintendo straight up took these videos down. They could have made revenue off. It's just like nothing they do makes any sense. It's so weird. They're just
yeah, it's just not fair.
so out of
It's
touch.
really not.
So out of touch. But you know,
I mean, they
what's-
were doing this a long time ago, but now that like people are more aware, it's just like, wow,
I feel like-
Nintendo, yikes.
in the past, I feel like they were. It was like a once every blue moon thing. They would just like show like how out of touch they were with like online stuff. But now it's like literally like this past month alone, they've just been doing one thing after another. It's like cancel the Melee stream, cancel the Squid stream or Splatoon stream, DMCA everyone,
Everything.
and like DMCA people that are playing Skyward Sword on time, DMCA people that have like Nintendo music. It's just like
It makes no sense.
God, it really
it really
doesn't.
makes no sense. It is just so bad for their PR, and
they're
I don't
shooting
understand
themselves
how
in
they're.
the foot. They're literally shooting
Yeah,
themselves in the
I
foot.
don't even know how they just suddenly thought in their heads like, you know what? I think we're just gonna shut down everybody and make everyone hate us just a little bit more than usual today.
Yeah.
It's like, what? I don't know how they could.
I mean, Nintendo
rationalize
fanboys
it.
can defend Nintendo all they want, but like, this is just bad.
You're an
This is
idiot.
just bad.
Dude, like if
Like-
you sit there and you're like, oh, Nintendo's within their legal right to do so. Yeah, they are, but it doesn't make them not assholes. Like they're assholes
Yeah.
for doing this stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Come
care.
on.
I don't
Like,
care if it's
your
legal.
fan base is mostly children. Why are you acting like a kid?
Dude,
Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
crazy.
come
crazy.
on.
It literally makes no
and
sense.
it really got worse as soon as shit.
That's Super Mario remake.
Pardon me for not knowing his name, but who passed away? Was it Iwata?
Oh yeah, Iwata.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it got a lot worse when Iwata really
I
passed
thought
away.
about that, and it really does feel that way. Like Iwata passed away, and they just got so much more like company. Like they got so much more like I don't know, just for like
business centric. Yeah, they just seem more like a
you're run of the mill.
Yeah,
You're like you're run of the mill
yeah.
business. But Janelle, what's your game? I never got to you. We started ranting about Nintendo.
I got a few because I play different genres, right? So like I'll play like, I guess first comes to mind Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Ah, that is a classic.
That was my first game I ever touched, and it was on my computer. And my dad like you know, like they just get it out of nowhere. Like they don't actually pay for it. You just got it. Yeah, you just got it. I was like, what is this? He's like, just play it. I'm like, okay.
Just play it.
Just play it. Yeah, and it was the first game I ever beat as like a 5-year-old or 4-year-old.
Dude, yeah.
I don't know how I beat that
wow,
game.
that's
I used to play it on my PSP.
Right. Yeah.
There-
I always wanted it on my PSP, but I never got it. So that game got me into racing games, and ever since then I've always like loved racing games, especially Need for Speed.
Yeah, Need for Speed is a pretty easy thing to pick up. Like when you're a kid. I mean, like pretty simple. You drive.
You just gotta follow the checkpoint. Get across
it's
the
also
finish
like you can learn how to drive a manual just like from that.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool. Like just how you can learn a lot of things from video games. Like overall, like it's really neat. Like how video games can really kind of I don't know circle around to real life and honestly
yeah, there's
help
things
you
to
with
take
real life
away
skills.
from games.
Yeah, like a lot of stories in games can help you learn a lot of like really well. There we go.
There it is.
Most Wanted. There it is.
There it is.
Beautiful.
Dude, but the weirdest thing is for me that I beat the game on PC with a mouse and keyboard.
That
I don't
is
know
crazy.
how you play. Yeah, how did a kid
I didn't-
beat a racing game, the first game they ever touched, with not even a controller?
I just
PC gaming wasn't even that big back
No,
then.
it wasn't.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's Jesus.
I found something out today, and that is that Need for Speed Most Wanted was on PC.
Somehow.
Yeah, I
had no
didn't know that
idea.
either.
That's crazy.
In fact, a lot of games were on PC, although PC wasn't
they had terrible
that
ports.
big
big.
until Steam came out.
and their
Yeah.
ports were
Because they
terrible.
they used to come out on disc that you put into
Yeah.
your
Oh
computer.
yeah.
That's
But I didn't even have like legitimate disc. Like it was just a downloaded disc from like a torrent. I
Dude,
think.
yeah. No, I'm about to say like your dad was like torrenting or like pirating stuff, man.
Yeah.
Legend.
I mean, that's how all of our movies were, like, how we watch all of our movies. We have discs. You know, like the
The
plain
blank
disc with
disc
the
with like the
Sharpie.
Oh
Sharpie
yeah,
on
the
it.
Sharpie.
you used to burn them on the disc. Yeah, my dad did that too. I have a whole like thing. I don't know. Where
Dude,
it is, but,
my
like, I
dad-
have a thing with,
No,
like disc.
My
yeah.
dad had a friend who worked at the theater, and like every time a new movie come out, my dad would come home with like a blank disc with just like a Sharpie mark on it and add it to the pile. And it's
Yeah.
like I had Cars on one of those discs, and that was like one of my favorite movies as a kid. I watched the
Cars on
crap
that,
out of that thing. I
Cars
watched
is
it
a very
so
good
much.
movie.
I had Cars.
I
on
watched
mine.
it so much, dude.
Those old DreamWorks Disney movies are just I don't know like watching them as a kid and then like seeing like even watching them again now like it just brings back so much.
You still have a
nostalgia.
level of appreciation.
those
for
OG
those.
Yeah.
ones at
Oh,
least.
yeah,
Like I like
thank-
those OG Pixar
like
movies.
over the hedge.
Oh my
let's
God,
see.
Over the Hedge.
Over the Hedge was I really liked Over the Hedge. I don't know.
Oh, that
What is
Blossom
another one?
Bow.
You guys remember Hoodwinked?
I do.
You guys
yeah.
ever see
I
Hoodwinked?
have, yeah.
Holy
I never watched it.
I've seen it a
That
few
movie,
times.
I don't know. It wasn't like that great, but like I don't know. It's just an old like it's an oldie. Like it's an oldie.
something that I would definitely watch like right now. Like I would pop that in and watch it right now with like a couple
Oh,
of
yeah,
friends or
it's
something.
just, yeah,
I
something
probably
you can
wouldn't watch
watch.
that by myself, but like I would definitely watch that with some friends because it's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, it is. It's a weird twist on what is it?
Like fairy tales.
Yeah, just fairy tales and yeah, like all the like just a bunch of fairy tale characters overall.
Were there any more games you had, Junior? You said you had multiple.
Yeah, I have a lot. I
genres.
had Metal Gear Solid 4.
4.
That was really important because I remember on Christmas Day, my middle brother got it for Christmas, was playing it, and he was like letting me like watch while like I was on his bed just beside him, like watching it. And I was just like, what even is this game? It was my first exposure to Metal Gear Solid. And ever since then, I've always been in Metal Gear Solid.
Dude, yeah.
Like, I loved Metal Gear Solid because of that game. And I didn't have online. So I would just play on my uncle's PS3 just this campaign, and I completed that game over and over and over again until I got a new game.
That's funny. Like, it's funny
Yeah.
that because like that makes sense because Metal Gear Solid 4 is probably the easiest out of all 5 games. Like,
Dude, there were so many ways to cheese that game.
I know, there really
were
were.
so many ways.
like I feel like stealth was not a focus in that game, which is why I really don't care for 4. Like,
yeah.
I don't. Like,
Well, it's really linear too, which is
that's true.
like
That's true.
your approach.
It feels like, I don't know. It feels like it feels like an off-brand Metal Gear. Like it feels like Kojima wasn't really, I don't know. Like it feels like he wasn't like hands-on with that. Like it feels like he gave it to people that make like other games, and they just made it like the same as like any other main campaign at the time. You know, it's like you go mission to mission, very direct, like very direct objective. There's not very many twists and stuff. Cause like, dude, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, it's like you start with a mission, and then it just twists and it turns and it twists and it turns, and it's like you forget why you even came there in the first place. It's like so many things get thrown at you that it's like.
Yeah, there's a lot of story beats that just are random.
It's cause 4 is very fan servicey. Like it's just very very fan servicey, and I don't really care for it. I don't know. Like it has. I really just don't like 4. I think I'm gonna stop talking about 4.
I feel like there's just a few cop-out moments that kind of kill it.
There's a lot. I don't like what they did with Raiden at all. Like I don't like what they did at Raiden at all. Like Raiden had his own little self-contained story and they just kind of ruined it. But I don't know. I could talk about Metal Gear for hours. I'll leave it for another time.
I think the only other games I could think of is Assassin's Creed 2. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 2, because my uncle was playing that and he let me play that. And then, COD 4, Modern Warfare.
Yeah, see, that
The
would make
original
sense.
Modern Warfare.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
You never
I have a
uploaded-
decent story on how I got into COD actually. I was about 11, so like 4th going into 5th grade. For my birthday when I turning 4th grade, I got like my dad had like just a box. Like it was just a box. I was like, I don't understand, like what is this? And it was like oh, I got you an Xbox. I was like, oh really? Like, but it's like it was like a used Xbox 360, but I always still like appreciate it. It was like,
yeah,
holy, like I don't know, like that's sick. And then like what is it? It had like not just the Xbox. It had like a bunch of games, like a bunch of games that, like this guy just decided to sell. My dad got it like for a really good deal. I'm assuming that's why he got it in the first place. And like it had all like the first CODs. It had Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2. It had Black Ops 1. And I even had like from the first Xbox, it had like Call of Duty, the big red one, and like. Yeah, like the really old ones, and I was like, "Oh wow!" Like,
yeah.
The 360 doesn't have backwards compatibility, so I wasn't able to play it. But I was like, "Oh, neat!
Just
like,
interesting.
This is really cool."
Just
like,
do it in there.
yeah, COD. What is it? The older CODs. I don't know, just way better. Like in my opinion.
I mean, yeah. There was just a lot more passion in them. Now it's like a yearly release thing where it's just like, okay, here's our moneymaker. Like they have like they have like a checklist of things that they hit, and I feel like that is not a game. That is a formula. Like, and they're just trying to hit this formula. It's like they're like, okay, well, we got the polish, we got these guns, we got these perks, we got the campaign, we got the multiplayer, we got the zombies, and it's like,
they finish it and then they pop it in. Rocket Pass, Battle Pass at the top, right there.
And then
Battle Pass. Why? That's the only thing I hate Fortnite for is that every game has a Battle Pass now. Every single game. I really didn't think it would hit Rocket League.
But before it
hit Rocket League. It just. Fuck, dude.
I think battle passes are better than loot boxes though. Like loot boxes were
That's true.
So predatory.
Yeah, no, you only have to spend that $10 the one time and you get it back.
That's true. Most of the time they are self-filling. Like you can with the exception of like I guess a few games, but Destiny is one of those games where it's like you really don't get that back. Like you have to spend the $10 again. But most games
although it works really well in Destiny though because of like the items you can get and like what is it? I don't know, like armor as well and stuff like that. I don't know. In Destiny I'm not upset about it because it goes with the season.
Destiny
so it's like,
kind of upsets me about it, but it's not the season pass itself. It's the people that don't have it. Like if you don't get the season pass, you get kind of.
Oh yeah, caught. You just Mm.
And that's not fair.
Yeah.
In any other game, the season pass is like purely cosmetic, but in Destiny,
Yeah.
it's like you actually get like exotics and stuff, like stuff that affects gameplay from the season pass, and it feels kind of
Yeah.
unfair because like Gabe didn't buy the season pass, and like we're like he's already, I don't know if he's feeling it, but like I'm seeing it. Like I'm like, oh, do you have this or do you have that? And he's like, no, I didn't buy the season pass. Can you do this? Can you do that? No, I didn't buy the season pass. And I'm like, damn, like I didn't realize how much
it
stuff
really
was
takes out a lot
locked.
of the enjoyability
Right,
of
like
the game.
I didn't realize how much was locked behind a $10 paywall on a $60 game.
Yeah,
It's
I
crazy.
mean,
you might as well just mark
they-
it up to 70 and just give it to us, you know?
yeah, they're gonna keep on. This is gonna be a new expansion every year. It's gonna go into. I read the like. I forgot what you call it. The roadmap, and like they're going to like 2024. They're thinking that'll be like the end of D2. Like 2024, but like that's a long time from now. And they even introduced each season name as well.
Oh, wow.
Like I can't remember, but like, I could look it up. But like yeah, they introduced every single season name all the way up, and we're gonna finally find out who Savathun is. So you know that's really cool. But that's not until 2024, so it's so far away. But I don't know. It's I don't
Yeah,
know.
because they wanted to make it more of a service game, like World of Warcraft.
I mean, it was smart to make it free. But what is it? The way they're doing it isn't horrible, but they could have been a little better with it. I don't know.
Could be better.
Well, I just feel like a lot of the DLCs haven't been worth the price.
They have not.
that
Oh,
much.
absolutely
they
not.
have not.
Shadowkeep was $10 at best. Beyond Light, maybe 20.
I
don't know.
like I'd give Beyond Light the 20. Like it's decent. It's decent.
It's if it went for the final boss being you literally just super and that's it. Like wow.
no
And then just
super.
introducing something to the PvP mechanic, which in itself, PvP in Destiny is already horrible.
Sucks. It
But then you have to
sucks.
introduce something that literally makes it 10 times worse.
It makes it literally unplayable. I mean,
Yeah.
literally
Oh, yeah. You just stood.
unplayable.
You're frozen. What are you
take-
supposed to do?
Take
It's
your
really
hands
sad.
off the keyboard. Take your hands off the keyboard. You don't get to
Just
play.
stop
anymore.
playing.
You
Yeah.
don't get to play
It's-
anymore.
I mean,
It's
it's
just
just
not fun.
it's annoying to see the press V to break out and then you spam it and it's like there's
It's like no.
point.
What's there's really no point. There's no
There
point
is
touching
no
it.
point. Like most of the time, I don't even bother. I'm just like, oh, whatever. I'm dead. Like, I'm dead. There's no getting around that. Like the other person would have to beef substantially to get out of that, or for me to
absolutely.
get out of that.
Right.
And it's just like it's so dumb. There's no, like, I don't know. In shooters and PvP combat and anything where it's person v person, I feel like the key element is giving the players an equal playing field. Like both players, when they come into an interaction, should have like equal, I don't know, opportunity, like equal opportunity to do actions. They don't necessarily
Yeah.
have to have equal actions per se, but they have to have like equal opportunity. So like
Right.
they need to be able to fight one another on fair grounds, basically. And in Destiny or in other games like Overwatch and League, you get CC'd. And it's like, well, you cannot play the game. Your opportunity is just stripped away from you completely. I mean, you could argue about imbalance also taking away opportunity, but this one is more clear and cut. Like, you get CC'd, it doesn't matter. Like, you literally cannot play the game.
Like yeah, even if you smash it, it doesn't matter how fast you smash that button. You're not
I
getting.
don't know if you're supposed to hold it or smash it.
I don't know either.
It says press,
It does say press.
but when you press it, it does nothing.
I hold it and it lets me out, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think the timer changes much at all. Like, cause I have a trigger finger. Like, I have a trigger finger. So
Yeah.
I used to spam that V button so hard.
and even if you break out of it, there's an animation when you break out. It's
There's
like
an
bruh.
animation and you lose shield, so you are just one shot. It's
They really need to take out the losing shield part. Why do you drop to literally a sliver of a
it
bar
makes
left?
no
Why is
sense.
that?
It
that
makes no sense.
it's not okay.
And the worst
It's just
part is
not.
that now you don't even have to get frozen to be one shot.
Yeah, because of the fragments. I don't understand why you can get one shot
Without
when you're not
being
even frozen.
frozen.
Like
It's
if
like
you're just in the radius.
Somebody throws an ice wall at you and presses and spams X. You will literally see people like spam it. They just jump up and slam the ground. They jump up and they slam
Yeah.
the ground, and you're just like, dude, what am I watching? Like, what am I looking at, dude?
It's not fun.
Bad.
All right, so Michael, were you? Did we go on you for your games that you were up with, or
No,
like that?
no.
Okay.
I think
All right.
probably This is actually really hard, because I used to play, like, all I played when I was little was like single player games, and I have like the ones that meant a lot to me as a child were like Dragon Ball Z, like for the PlayStation 2. There's like Infinite Worlds for the PlayStation 2. There's Budokai 3 for the PlayStation 2. Um, I had like Sonic Rivals 2 for the PSP, and that was also like I wasted a lot of time on that. But I think in like just as a whole, probably the single most important game to me is Metal Gear Solid 1. Like that game, I just love everything about that game, from the graphics to the music, the story, the voice acting, just the care and passion that was put into that game. Like there's so much passion put into that game. Like it really shows. There's so much, like I mean, like, especially because it's a PlayStation 1 game, like it did so much revolutionary stuff for the time. Like and playing it for like the first time is quite the experience. Like it is such an experience. I don't know, like there's tension, there's kind of comedy, there's like emotional tension. I'm not talking like, oh, I'm about to get caught tension. That's there, but like there's also like high tense moments where, like, I don't know, you're talking with like Meryl or something, and Snake is like, because she thinks in the story, Meryl, somebody that Snake finds, like who's trying to hide from the terrorists, she's like trying to fight the terrorists and she gets arrested, and Snake saves her, and she's like, Snake, you're a hero. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like I'm kind of a terrible person. And they have this like back and forth about how like being a soldier is not like all it's cracked up to be. And like it's almost like the countries kind of push this propaganda to like be a soldier, like you're a hero, when it's really nothing more than a paid killer. And just the themes too, like that, like the themes on like society and different people's point of views and just perspective and stuff, and how nobody really sees himself as in the wrong, and like everybody's fighting for something. And also just respecting your enemy and stuff like that. Like there's tons of themes in there that I respect, and the things that they did with that game that were revolutionary for the time, where like I still appreciate it to this day. And I love the graphics, and I love the gameplay, I love stealth, I love all of it. Like it's so unique, and it's so captivating. Like I still remember my first time fighting Zero or Gray Fox. Like that fight is so interesting. Like even without knowledge of Metal Gear, and I'm talking like Metal Gear as in like the Metal Gear games, like literally just Metal Gear that came before, even without the knowledge there, it's this robot, this like cyborg ninja that has just like literally leading up to, oh, and that's another thing, Kojima does tear perfectly. Like you turn a corner and there are just like dead bodies like strolled across the hallways and stuff, and you walk over them and like you can't run, you're like slow walking over them, and there's kind of like noises playing and you don't really notice, but the screen, it's almost like tunnel visioned on Snake in these hallways, and then you get to the door and there's a scientist pissing himself, and there's like a cyborg ninja in front of him, and it's like, what is going on? But then he starts talking about like his feelings only blooming on the battlefield and him only being himself on the battlefield, and it's crazy. Like they do so much stuff and they flow it all together perfectly, and it never feels like too weird. Like objectively speaking, if you look at it like in a vacuum, it's like that's pretty weird. That's a pretty weird sequence of events. We went from terror to comedy to like emotion, and it's just like in the span of like, I don't know, a couple minutes. And then the boss fight is intense. The boss fights are all very intense and also very, very unique. Like I've never seen shooters do boss fights like Metal Gear does boss fights. It's not just shoot your target, it's like every boss fight is different. Like I can name three boss fights that are very memorable, actually four, from Metal Gear Solid 1 alone. The first one is fighting Revolver Ocelot. He has like a 6-shot revolver, and he'll fire like all 6 at you, and then he runs to reload, and then you shoot him. It's pretty basic, but the thing is that you guys are running around pillars because there's tripwires all in the middle that will detonate and like kill both of you if you hit them. So it's this game of cat and mouse with Revolver Ocelot. And then the second boss fight is like a guy in a tank, which obviously guns don't work. So you are running circles around this tank trying to throw grenades into... You can throw grenades just on the tank and they'll do damage, but like you get rewarded for throwing grenades in the cockpit, like, because it straight up kills whoever's in there, and it does so much more damage fatter. And also little details like that are another reason I love it. And then the third boss fight is like the Greyhound one, or the Grey Fox one. And he's like like you can't do swords with him, you can't do guns with him because he just slices the bullets. So it's like he teleports and he goes invisible. So it's like perfectly timing these damage intervals with your punch kick combo, and it's so satisfying. And I remember the first time I beat that, I screamed because I thought it was so hard. And like going back through it, it's not that hard, but when I was younger, it was so hard, and I felt so awesome when I first beat it. And then like the last boss fight with like Ocelot, where I don't know, they're all just very good. I'm kind of rambling, but I really, really, really love Metal Gear Solid 1. That game is very important to me. Definitely one of my favorite games of all time. Close second would probably be Final Fantasy 7, like the original Final Fantasy 7. But I'm not gonna go into that.
That story's very long.
It is, but like I love Final Fantasy 7 for pretty much the same reasons I love Metal Gear Solid 1.
Oh,
and they're also
remakes. Final Fantasy 7 remake. Yikes, bro.
Yes,
disappointed.
Why the story is how much they put the quarter of the story in?
Dude, they put like less than a quarter of the story in. I think like if you know what you're doing in Final Fantasy 7, I think you can get out of Midgar in like a few hours. Like,
wow.
Maybe even less. Like I think speedrunners can get out of there in probably like 30 minutes. But like even a casual player like me, I got out of Midgar within like a few hours or something like that. And then like Midgar is the entire game of the remake. Like that's the entire game. So it's like there's so much filler. I just don't care for it. Like I really don't care for it. Like it looks good, but not only do I not like the revamped combat system for Final Fantasy 7, I don't like them just being in Midgar. Like I don't like it. I don't know. Too much filler, kind of boring, and I don't like the combat system. It's got a nice coat of paint on it. I'll give it that. But that's really all it has going for me. I'd much rather just play the original. I feel like the original has so much more impact to it. I haven't seen summons in the remake, and that's because I don't think you get summons in 7, which summons being like, it's a materia, which is something you equip, and a summon basically summons like a god or something to like come in and do this mad damage. And in Final Fantasy 7, it was these really epic animations where like you do the summon, your character would disappear, and these gods would come down and like do some crazy animation with like a ton of damage.
They had that in 15. That was so satisfying.
Dude, they had summons. I've never played 15.
Why does Final Fantasy have so many so many games?
Probably because it's good. I don't know.
Is it one every? Was it one every year?
No, not even. Like it takes forever to like release a Final Fantasy one.
I want to.
Because I bought Final Fantasy 17 for my 360, I think, a long time ago. I might be way off because I don't actually remember the Roman numerals, but yeah, I played like the first few hours of it. It was what is it? It was very enjoyable. Like Final Fantasy is a very enjoyable game, and it's very easy to get sucked in, and like time will fly very fast. That's when you know a game is pretty good. Okay. Is when like you don't notice time.
The first Final Fantasy game came out in 1987. So
wow.
Yeah, and this is like, and that's 1, and then we're in like 2020, and they're coming out with 16. No, they're coming out with 16.
They just
started. I don't know why I said 17.
They just announced.
It was probably 13 or 12.
So I mean I don't know. Yeah. It's just like they really do take their time with those games. Remakes in general are kind of disappointing. Like I really don't care for remakes.
There's very few remakes that are done right, but a lot of the times it's like I feel like you should have just tried to make a new like game in general.
Look, and that's the thing. If you're gonna do a remake, then like build upon it. Don't just put a new coat of paint on something. Yeah. You know, like do something with it. And like Resident Evil 2 is a perfect example of a good remake. Resident Evil 2 is like the perfect
solid remake.
And what sucks is that not Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 3 remake is not. It's like they backtracked. I don't know what happened, but it's like Resident Evil 2 remake was really, really good, And then Resident Evil 3 remake, it wasn't bad, but it suffers from the same mess that the other ones do, like other remakes do, and it's crazy. It's like,
Well, it's weird
How
because
did you
Resident
guys
Evil
set
3
the-
came out so soon.
how did you set the bar up so high and then like fail to meet it? Like, you set the bar and then you failed to meet it. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. And Final Fantasy 3 remake isn't a bad game by any means. I just don't think it's a good remake. I don't know. By itself, it's a pretty solid game, but like super short, super linear. They took out like the whole following you factor. Like Nemesis in 3 does not follow you around. Like in the old version, on like the PlayStation, like Nemesis is doing that. Like he's following you around constantly in the same way that like Mr. X is, if I'm remembering correctly. And they just took that out in 3. Like it's just set pieces in 3. And I'm pretty sure they also cut a lot of content from the OG 3 to the remake 3, but I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
It just from what I can recall, because there's like certain set pieces, like in the OG 3, you end up going into a house or something, or like a mansion of some sort, and that is just not present in the remake at all. So I don't know. It seems like they did change things up for 3, but they didn't really add much to it, I guess. It felt like they changed it, but they didn't really add upon it, so it just kind of felt a little lukewarm, I guess. But I don't know. Still enjoy it. I definitely like Resident Evil 2 remake more, but still enjoy it.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 2 remake was just, I guess, I don't know how they could mess it up so bad for the, because it took. The weird thing to me was that, like, oh, another remake already?
Yeah,
like,
they did release them.
fast.
It's like back to back. It felt like it was like what,
Yeah,
2017
so it was
and 2019.
I think so, something like that. Like I thought it was like 2018, 2019.
Was it? Yeah, I need to see when Resident Evil 2 came out.
I thought it came out like just recently.
Oh fuck.
What are with these lines on my camera? Do you see that?
That's your
Yeah.
light.
It's just pissing me off.
What? Resident Evil 2 remake came out in 2019?
Spooky.
Yeah, I thought so. And then the remake for 3 came out like this year, I thought.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. See,
These
that's why I was
nuts.
like, how did they have enough time?
They
to release
didn't.
that.
They did not.
Because they would have to be working on that alongside too.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
That does explain quite a bit. I don't know. And then there's tons of just bad remakes. I mean, you got Dark Souls remake.
I feel like Demon Souls remake is faithful to a fault.
There you go.
'Cause-
That's another thing they do.
It's like it looks so good, amazing. It is a beautiful looking game. The problem is it still has the same janky
Yeah, the exact
moves
same
and-
problems that like the
Yeah.
original game had. It's like
because they literally said, yeah, we ported the code for like how they literally said we kept the same code and just made the animations timers the same like timing. But it's like, then what's the point?
you
You got like this beautiful looking game
putting a
with
new coat of paint on a
Literally.
on like a 15-year-old car. Like,
and it's like how did you think that was gonna work out? Like everyone's like, oh yeah, I love it because like veteran players get to like
get to abuse the
straight into
game. Get to just
and
abuse the game.
mechanics they already know. Exactly. And it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but if you're gonna do a remake, refresh the whole game. Don't leave the literal entire code of a like 2010 PS3 game.
That is the epitome of laziness. Like,
It's just like, why?
it's just money. Like, that's what I hate about the gaming industry right now. It's so saturated. It's so saturated. Man, it feels like every company is just chasing the bag. It's just like following some sort of formula. It's either like the remake
Just
formula.
lost passion.
That's true. There's
Yeah.
not many like passion fueled projects anymore. I heard PT might be coming back though.
No, yeah, I heard about that, and I was like, that's fitting because
Mm.
Kojima's really good at horror. So
Yeah, he is. It's crazy. Especially, that's what I love in Metal Gear Solid games is like the horror, because you don't expect those games to have horror. So when they come, they are so
it's actually terrifying.
unsettling. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, wow, what is happening? I mean, like I said earlier, like the Gray Fox fight. There was also the Psycho Mantis fight. Where
Yeah,
and that
the shadow.
going back about the
the Psycho
uniqueness,
Mantis.
dude, you had to unplug your controller from the first slot and put it in the second one.
And plug it in the second slot.
Yeah, just so you could find him, because he was literally reading your inputs. It's so funny.
And then what was cool too is that which was it Metal Gear Solid 2 where you literally had to turn over the case of the actual physical copy, and like to look for Meryl's codec.
That's
or
one.
someone's
That's
codec.
one.
That's one.
I
It is.
I have
one.
the case. It's in my backpack right now because I'm packed up to go to California, and I'm bringing my
Yeah.
Solid one. But like, it's one. Like at the end of the Revolver Ocelot fight, Colonel's like, Snake, come Meryl, and he's like, oh no, it's not Colonel. It's like the fat bald guy who's like dying. And he's like,
Yeah.
you can contact Meryl through like her number or whatever. And then Snake's like, what's her number? And the guy's like, oh, I forgot. He's like,
Yeah,
what?
and you have to just look at the back of the copy
He goes,
because there was not internet at the time.
Yeah,
you
and
can't just like
you can't
check
look it up.
online
It's
with
so
a Google
funny.
search.
And the thing is, he literally says, check the back of the case. He's like, check the back of the
Yeah.
case. It should be there. And you're like, and the Snake's like, huh? And then you go and you check the back of the case. It's like, oh, well, there it is. Cool. Like, just you don't see shit like that in
Yeah,
games
you
nowadays.
don't.
You really don't. And then Psycho Mantis like reading your memory card and being like, oh, you like,
You got Castlevania.
yeah, you like Castlevania games, don't you? What were some other games he read? Castlevania is the first one that always comes to mind. I think he might have.
Same.
I think he might have read like Mega Man games or like Street Fighter, although I'm not entirely sure. I want to get to that fight, and no, because I have a PlayStation. No, right, because it's a PlayStation 1 game, so it would have to be PlayStation 1 games. I always forget. It'd be so cool if he was just like, oh, you like Tekken, don't you? I think he does say something about like fighting games though. He's like, oh, so you like fighting games,
Yeah.
or oh, you like horror games and stuff like that. But it was just, it's crazy. Like that, like imagine being like 13 years old and you're playing a game and suddenly the character starts reading your save file and then like telling you what games you like that's crazy. And then like if you haven't saved in a while, he'll say something about that too. He's like, I see you're reckless or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, you're very cautious if you save a whole lot. It's very interesting. And
Metal Gear Solid 3
very
is like the
unique.
last one to have like cool gimmicks
it,
like
it
that.
really is. I mean, like
I
I love 3.
what was
I absolutely love
yeah.
3. I think it's like the Sorrow or something.
Is it the sniper? Is it Sorrow?
I think the sniper is the Sorrow.
And then like if you actually wait like a certain
A
amount
week.
of time in
If
real
you wait
life,
a
he'll
week,
just die
He just dies. Yeah.
in game.
And I did that on
Yeah.
accident. Like I didn't know about that. I did it on accident. Like I literally was just playing Metal Gear Solid 3 and I got to that boss fight and then I just didn't play my PlayStation 2 for like 2-3 weeks and I get back on and then like I'm
He's just
sneaking
dead.
up on him and yeah, he's just dead. I'm like, okay. And then like there's like a part in that where if you kill Ocelot, you get like a game over and he's like, Snake, you created a time paradox. You can't do that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I activated that on accident too, because like I knocked out Ocelot, and I'm like, well, I don't want to deal with this guy later, so I blew his brains out, and then, you know, Colonel or like, whatever his name is, Major Zero is like, what? You can't do that. I think it actually is Colonel. I think Colonel comes back and is like, Snake, you created a time paradox. I don't know, but you really don't see like just unique and like cute little stuff and like attention to detail like that in games anymore. I don't know. I really value games that don't have gamey mechanics. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they have things that, because like if I'm playing a game and I see a tree pop up out of thin air, it reminds me that I'm playing a video game and it takes me out of it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes even seeing a HUD, like a really big HUD, will take me out of a game if it's not implemented very well. But there are certain games that do fantastic at just like keeping you immersed. And
Yeah.
I think like Half-Life is a very good example of that.
Quake.
Dude, Quake is such a banger. Oh my god. TF2 original. Dude, maybe that's what I need to get into. And I'm done with TF2.
Just get into TF2 original or yeah.
TF2 Classic.
I'm done.
TF Classic.
TF Classic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, TF Classic is just a Quake mod. I don't know, man. Maybe we need to stop playing TF2 and just go play the original.
Let's
Quake.
go on the
Old
TF
games.
Classic.
Those games
marketplace.
literally only require movement and aim. That's
yeah,
it.
no, they were pure skill. Like it was like, and that's the epitome of balance. Everybody has the same kit. Everybody starts out with the same stuff. You have completely equal opportunity. It's all about getting the jump on your opponent and just being the better player.
That's what I miss about OG Halo.
Me too. It's like it was like knowing spawns of weapons and then like just being a better player. Like there really wasn't that much movement involved. All you could do was crouch spam, and that's not the best. Like it's all right. Like sometimes somebody will crouch and like under your shot, and it's like that's right. You can do that. You can crouch in this game, but not very often. I don't know, man.
I feel like once Halo Reach came out, you had like the jetpack and then
yeah, that was like the beginning
lock.
of the end.
Yeah. It's when it's all like there's just too many of these mechanics that are just
I don't like, dude. I just feel like
meta.
Halo was always a like boots on ground sort of thing. Like Halo was always like everybody moves at this kind of slowish pace, and there wasn't a whole lot of movement involved. It was more about knowing weapon spawns and holding angles and just being the better player. I don't know, and I feel like that's what spawned MLG was just how skill based it was. Like it was just like pure skill, more or less.
because it was a simple game. There's not much complex mechanics.
That's when people didn't get so mad at games, because what's there to be mad about? Someone's just better than you. You're not dying to BS.
Yeah, no.
Like
Dude,
someone's
it
just better.
It felt
and
like your fault.
You have the ability to be better, and it is your fault. You have to improvise, and you know,
you just gotta,
and really just play situations like, you know, a certain way to really win them. I mean,
yeah, Halo's like one of the only games that I'll sit there, like I will die and I'll sit there and think about what I can do differently the next life to get the jump on the guy. Like
Yeah, exactly. Because like
what's up?
it has a level of depth to the like it's a simple game with its own depth based on your own skill ceiling.
Yeah,
right.
it's very
So
on
it's
the
like,
player. You don't feel like cheated.
You can't abuse many mechanics in the game. You just gotta get good.
Plain and simple, dude. I think
Just,
simplicity spawns complexity. You know,
yeah.
when you sit there and you make things overly complicated, people just run amok. Like people just
Well, no, because everyone's just gonna be like either there's one complex thing that's really broken, or they're just gonna find a way to oversimplify it, or they're just gonna go back to the simple things.
Dude, Destiny is a good example because I feel like there's a lot of things broken in Destiny, but there's so much broken in Destiny that you can do a whole lot of brokenness. Like they'll sit there and patch one thing, and then it's like, oh, but what about this,
What's
and
the
that?
next broken thing?
And it's like, what do you mean all that other stuff? Like we patched this. Relax, guys. I don't know. I don't know. Like when you make things, it feels like you put too much on your plate when you sit there and you try to add a bunch of complexity to stuff.
And that's the thing that I'm worried about for Destiny 2 is like you're gonna go on for another 4 years and you have all of these items that just aren't gonna be relevant because you're seasonal capping every single one.
Cap?
And then you're power capping every single like item going from this season on.
That's
So every
lazy.
season is gonna have the weapons capped.
It's just I mean, it's like the Recluse is like a good example. It's like, okay, so they nerf SMG damage. Okay, so Recluse is still broken because it has a perk that you can't. It just increases damage. What are they gonna do? Get rid of the perk? So no, let's just sunset weapons instead of fixing them.
But
and
then
honestly,
still use them on
whatever.
Crucible
And
because
you
it
can
doesn't
still
matter
use
what
them in
power
Crucible.
light you are.
That's the thing.
That's true.
They always balance around PvE. They never balance PvP. They all like if anything's broken in PvP or PvE, they're on it. If something's broken in PvP,
Yeah, because they don't care about PvP
They
because it's not
don't.
where most of the player base is.
and I wonder why
they-
that is. I wonder why most of the player base doesn't play PvP.
Yeah. You know, nobody would play PvP if you didn't get powerful rewards or anything from it. No one, not one person would willingly touch PvP if it weren't you get powerful or a pinnacle for playing competitive. I guarantee no one. So it's really stupid. Gambit as well.
I can't wait to hop on Gambit today and like get that eyes of tomorrow and just make people hate themselves. Dude, like,
oh my god.
just put the laser on them, bro. I mean, that's crazy.
Put the laser. Oh, I can't wait to use Lament on that flying eyeball motherfucker, dude. I'm a bitch, bro. Yeah. I can't use my sword against him. Nah, that's alright. I'll just start popping off, bro. I do not care. You can try and stop me. No.
Yeah, nothing can stop me.
So we're at 54 minutes here. 55 now. We can
probably
can
close it
either.
out. I mean, I might have one other thing worth talking about.
Okay.
Joe Mama?
What's a song that you guys have had on repeat lately?
Okay. I'll go first.
Yeah.
So it's the song that I showed you yesterday, Michael, Somnophobia. I don't know. That song, like, I was always, like, iffy about rock, but, like, that made me, like, really think, like, I like rock. Like, yeah, like, I really, like, and I don't know, a lot of the lyrics appeal to me, like, a lot as well. Like, I don't know.
See,
like,
those are good songs. Like, when you sit there
like,
and you listen to
I
the
really
lyrics,
like songs that have lyrics that
resonate
apply to
with you.
me.
Yeah.
Like, resonate, yeah. It's just, it's so nice. So, yeah, I'd have to say that song, and, like, I don't know. I like everything about it.
Like, what was the name of the band?
It's a person. Or there's two people on the song. So the person's name is A14, and there's the featured disaster. I believe it's Disaster Kid or Disaster Child or something like that, or disaster as a disaster. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, there's two people on that, and he's actually a part of a group called Spider Gang, which is what Little Darky is on. Like, it's like a whole little group. So it's kind of like a crazy Odd Future almost, like insane, so they all of their music is like screaming, like it's almost like Ski Mask, but like worse than Ski Mask, like in kind of like way more. Yeah, it's crazy.
Very high octane. I see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like yeah.
And what was the title of the song particularly?
Somnophobia.
Okay. So what's yours, Janelle?
I've had a few, but the one that, like, I know I replay it a lot if I sing it, even when I'm not playing it.
Yeah.
So, for mine was just Thinking About You by Frank Ocean. I don't know why.
Such a classic. Oh.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not like it's like I just recently started listening to it. No, I just keep listening to that song, like, and singing it from time to time.
Wow.
And like even today, I found myself just singing it over and over again. I think part of me is just like that was like my way of checking if my like singing was getting better. Because I remember like
dude,
for the longest time I was trying to sing that song and I was like, I can't do it. I can't get it to hit. My voice would not hit the keys or the notes the way I wanted to. And I'm like, so when I sing it now, I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, because I can see myself like improving.
I do like every time like I'll be like I'll listen to a song and then I'll try and like do the lyrics, like, because I don't like looking up the lyrics. I like learning, like keep on just listening, just learning over time. And then like as soon as you finally like learn like sing it with the song, it's like fuck yeah, like oh my god. And like I don't know, the song just gets that much better because you know the lyrics.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
then eventually you start like remembering it with like memories and corresponding it with them. But
when you start to like apply music to like memories, oh my gosh. And like every time you listen to a song it takes you back to a certain time. That's always something. Like when they're good, like obviously it can happen with negative memories and that kind of sucks sometimes, but when you have like a really good memory attached to a song and it comes on and you're just like taken back to like somewhere that you are not right now, it is pure bliss. It's pure bliss.
Yeah.
I think mine right now would be Don't Play This Song by Kid Cudi. I love Kid Cudi for a lot of reasons. Like I feel like he is like my twin. Like I feel like he's not dead, but I am him reincarnated. Like if this was like another universe, I would be alternate universe Kid Cudi because I feel like I resonate with like every one of the songs. I mean, the dude is like a lonely stoner with anxiety and depression and like suffering from them severely. So like it some of his music helped me out so much when I was like in the worst of it. Like him and Joji were like some of the only music I could like actually stand to listen to, and it resonated so deeply with me. It really like it. I would say like it saved me, or like it kept me alive, but it was just a nice cathartic thing for me when like I had almost nothing. But the song I have been like listening over to recently is called Don't Play This Song. I've been humming it to myself like all day today. I there's no way I like the lyrics slip my mind. Oh, there we go. There's like a line that goes, people really think they're being helpful when they're telling me please be careful. I love that line because I've heard that a lot. Like I've heard that a lot where people are just like, oh, well, be careful, and it's like, dude, I'm like minutes away from blowing my brains out. I don't think you understand. Like I'm not doing this for fun. Like there's no caution there. It's almost like the line to me really represents people like not really caring. Like they can't sit there and leave it alone because they'll feel like bad people, so they do just enough to ease their conscience without actually trying to help you. Does that make sense? Like, they won't like actually get involved or try to figure out what's going on or try to be there for you or anything like that. They'll just be like, what's wrong? And it's like, oh, this and that, and then they're like, oh, well, that sucks.
They just try and do like the socially acceptable level
it's
of
like
help.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, that's so tough. Have you a good example for me is I sleep like shit. I sleep terribly. It's almost 3 a.m. right now. I sleep so badly, and then people are always like, have you taken melatonin? Have you tried melatonin? Have you tried NyQuil? Have you tried this and that? And I'm like, yes.
Sometimes you don't really need to say anything. Just be there for someone.
Exactly.
You don't
Most
need
of
to
the
say
time.
a word. Just let them talk to you and get everything out that they need. Because I don't know. As soon as you say something that like they're not really gonna like, because they're already in a fucked up headspace. So it's like they really just need that vent.
They turn it off.
And like
because I do that. Like,
yeah.
I hate venting. I hate venting to people a lot. So like when I finally open up to somebody, and they
give you like this BS like, oh my god,
you shouldn't think bad thoughts, think more positive.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like they try and give you like solutions. It's like that's not
we
what I'm here
don't
for.
we don't need a
That's not what I'm here
solution.
for.
Like we just need somewhere to put out because like these thoughts build up and and then we don't know reality, and then that's how suicide happens.
I'm not a person.
And it's like,
I'm not a person who needs to vent. I'm somebody who can deal with my stuff on my own. I mean, that's how I've always been. I've always been independent, and I've been by myself a lot. So I've learned to deal with stuff on my own. So I don't need to vent. But I feel like everybody, even people like me, do need some sort of frustration release. Because if you sit there and you linger on thoughts or like, I don't know, just stuff like
emotions.
that. Yeah, like if you just let it sit there and like harbor and like keep harboring and just like over, and that's all you hear, like that's all you ever feeling, and you never even say anything about it, it gets really, really frustrating, and it starts to like mess with you, and you don't even notice it. Like you think you're fine, but it's still affecting like literally everything you do, and it's just like you begin to like not even know what the cause is anymore. You're just like, wow, I feel terrible, I can't do anything right, and I don't even know why. And sometimes
you cannot think straight at all.
Sometimes you really do just need like just to tell somebody something and have them be like, yeah, I get it. Like just having somebody be like, yeah,
exactly. It's someone that can like just understand. Like,
we don't need that BS. Like, just trying. Like, they keep on like trying to provide solutions. Like they're like throwing like grapes at you. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like we just stop.
Dude, okay, like a lot of people come to me to vent, and I think it's for like probably 2 reasons. It's because when somebody comes to me, when they open up to me, the first thing I try to deduce is whether they're coming to me for advice or whether they just need somebody to talk to. And it's usually the latter. Sometimes it is the former, very rarely, but sometimes it is the former, which is why I actually look for it. But like a lot of times somebody's just looking for somebody that understands where they're coming from and can like almost validate their feelings or just give another like perspective on it. And I also,
because like they just don't want to feel like what they're feeling is just only them kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like I don't know how to
It
explain
makes
it,
you feel
but
like you're crazy or something. Like,
yeah, exactly. There you go.
So-
Like you feel out of your mind when no one else gets it.
and I also don't sugarcoat things. Like when people come to me, I give it to them straight up. Like, I don't know. I'm not one to like hold my tongue. I keep it 100. I keep it a
Yeah.
buck.
Give it $1.50.
I keep it 99 because I be lying sometimes.
Oh yeah, you know sometimes you just be gaslighting on the TL for real.
Gaslighting mid-range.
Gaslighting mid-rain. Did I do that?
Yeah, you gaslighted Chris.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, you gaslighted Chris. Well, as a joke. We gaslighted Chris as a joke.
I don't recall that.
No, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing it.
Yeah. It goes.
I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't remember. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's like, no.
Are you sure? Like,
No.
or like, dude, or like you do it to friends. It's like, dude, I've always been your friend. I've always been close to you, bro.
I would
like,
never do that to you.
I would never do that to you,
Oh,
man.
God.
Oh
It's
my
like, no,
god.
are you sure you remember it correctly? Because I would.
Yeah,
never
are
do
you
that.
sure?
That's
I
That doesn't
think
even
you're an
sound like
idiot.
me. That doesn't even sound like me, dude. Like, honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound like.
How could you? How could you even think that about me, bro? I thought we were closer than that. Oh my
Yeah.
god. No, I dislike people. This is why I keep to myself. Like, this is why I don't mess with people. But I actually will close it out as soon as Gino gets back to his little chair, because it's been about an hour 6, so he probably got enough. Look at that fine young man.
Fine young Asian man.
Woo! I ain't never
Jeez.
seen an Asian so fine.
Wait. He just got back to. He's not gonna.
He'll see it in the footage.
All right.
All right.
Well, that was
yeah.
a pretty solid first episode, 106. I'll probably
Yep.
edit it and put it out as soon as possible. But it's been a very nice first episode. I think we talked mostly about video games, but
Yep.
That
We're
would-
gonna try and move on to. We're going to try and avoid politics as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely don't want to
we
get
got
into
we
it.
got
Yeah.
enough of dealing with that with our everyday lives. The last thing I
Yeah,
want to do
it's just, we see it every day.
is
We
get on a
just wanna
podcast and talk
I don't
about
know.
it.
If
but
anything, I'd rather talk about video games for 3 hours straight than
That's
talk about
true.
politics.
granted,
There's just more to talk about without getting a case
there
on you.
is so much more. Like, there is so much we can talk about without getting into politics that I think
Oh, absolutely.
it's fine. It's probably fine
If we
do that
avoid
too.
it as much as we
I
can,
think
we'll
yeah.
be fine.
Whatever. Believe what you want to believe. I'm gonna go choke slam my little cousin into a wall.
Your mama?
Jesus Christ. Yes.
Okay.